Hi, I'm Megla here, and today I'm going to start with this algebra linear equation. So the linear equation, the terms which you will come across is variables, terms, coefficient, expression, equation. So what is variable? It's an unknown numbers like x, y, z, which you do not know and we consider in terms of the alphabets. Terms, the element separated by the plus or minus, that is, we call the 2x plus 3y, that is 2x in one term and then 3y is another term. So coefficient. So the one which is attached with the x, we call that as a coefficient. So x has this attachment as 2, then we call this 2 as coefficient of x, or 3 is a coefficient of y. Expression, one or more algebraic term without an equal sign. So we generally call this as an expression where you have like 2x plus 3y, and that's all. Nothing else is mentioned here. But this may be called as an equation when you equate this to something. So that is what's an equation, that is you have 2x plus 3y equal to 18. So then we call this as an equation. So this is the general term for this expression. So you have these some variables along with these coefficients, and these are the different terms which is again separated by this plus signs. So this is called expression. In case you equate this to something like you have you just equate this to some value, then we call this as a equation. And also like these are all polynomials. The translation of equation, that is, this is quite important, the translating the equations, because the words will be given here, the problems will be given in the form of word, and you have to convert this and write it in the form of equation. So that is like you have to know how to write it as an equation. So the sum of 3 times a number and 8 is 36. So if this is what is given here, is always replaced by equal to. So the whatever you have is here, that will be replaced by equal to. So is 36. So we are equal to 36. Sum of 3 times the number. So we don't know what the number is. So you're going to assign a variable for this. 3 times a number. So that's great. R into 3. 3 times a number and 8. So you're adding 8 along with this one. So 3 R plus 8. So similarly, you have like whenever is comes equal to 3, therefore this is equal to 3, and the number is decreased by 2, therefore n minus 2. Sum of 8 and the number is 12. So therefore you're just going to have this 8 plus 12 equal, 8 plus x is equal to 12. 2 less than a number is 4. So is 4 is again, first you write down this. 2 less than a number. A number is not mentioned, so I'm going to take that as a variable, and you're going to subtract 2 from that. 9 is equal to a number divided by 4. So 9 is, again, 9 is nothing but equal to a number which is not known. So I'm considering that as t. Divided by 4 is divided by 4 here. That's it. Linear equation. Usually the line equations are called as a linear equation where the maximum power of any variable will be 1. So here we have some of the examples of linear equation with very simple as x equal to 0 is a simple thing, and you can see this is a, like you have too many exponent point, like 4 into 3 y to the power 99 plus 76 is equal to 42 divided by 3x. So this is a complicated equation. Simple equation with one variable, when you say there will be one variable and one equation, and for one variable, one equation is sufficient to solve and get a unique solution. When the two variables are there, then we need two equations, two different equations. Let me tell that in the next slide. Now here we just have two different equations. You can solve for x and y. Simple equation with the 3 variables, and you have 4 variables, and any number of variables are possible, but normally 3 variables. Also sometimes you get questions of solutions. So we have seen the types of equations which you have single variable or 2 variable or 3 variables. Now the different types of solution, how you get for this. So normally we'll explain this for the 2 variables, which is quite common. Unique solution. You get unique solution when you have 2 equations. See the equation here, the meaning of this equation is nothing but they are line equation. So this is one line and this is another line. So you have 2 lines here. So these 2 equations, if you are given, if you solve these two equations, you will get a unique solution, provided you have two different lines here with the different slopes. So it's like a two lines crossing each other. This is the point, that is a solution which you're going to find out. So you will definitely get a single point here. So therefore you get the solution for this. No solution. No solution is something where you don't get solution for this. Why you don't get solution for this? You can just see this when you try to solve, when you subtract from the left hand side and right hand, when you subtract one equation from the other one, you can see that the left hand side becomes 0, whereas the right hand side is not becoming 0. That means they are inconsistent. The equations cannot be solved. They don't have anything in common where you can solve it. The next is infinitely many solutions. You get infinitely many solutions when it is consistent, of course, but the thing is here, you get this infinitely many solution only when you have the same equation. So you can see that this two equations, whatever is given here, is not the different equations, they are the same one. See, 2x plus 3y equals 10, and when you say 4x plus 6y equals 20, it's nothing but when you multiply the first equation into 2, you are getting the second one. That means it's one and the same equation. So in that case, you have two variables and one equation, you will get infinite solution. It's almost like you have a single line, and that line you have to find the solution. So any point is a solution here. So you'll get infinite solution in there. It's not two lines, it's a single line. Next. So we can also get this answers as unique solutions or no solutions or infinite solution by just having this concept here. In the other way, we can say that the two equations has, suppose you are taking these equations as a1x plus b1y plus c1, a2x plus b2y equal to c2. In this case, you just consider the coefficients of x and y and the constant term here. So when you say a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, is not equal to c1 by c2, that means they are different. They both are different equations. That means you have two different lines with the different slopes and you get a single unique solution. When you say that a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, but it is equal to c1 by c2, again, when you try to solve that, any one of the side, either left hand side or the right hand side, it will be 0. So in that case, you don't get any solution. It doesn't exist. And now the third one. Third one is like a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 equal to c1 by c2. So that means it's one and the same. It's like a ratio. You have the same equation.